Long ball number one here on Monday's Morning Kick Around. I'm Robert. He's Jason. Starting the week off with something fun. We like a good stadium rendering on this program, and Buffalo announced their USL Championship side will be building a 7,600 seat stadium in the Valley neighborhood.
This
Fun
is something
news.
we get excited about is rendering. Somebody once upon a time called them these rendering stadium porn, and you may not love the idea of pornography, but in terms of getting excited about stadiums, this is what we do. We get excited, and we included Buffalo in our expansion team update that we did a while back, a couple months ago, I think. At this point, Rob. So this is a new development on a story that we've told a little bit about, which is Buffalo getting a pro soccer team. This is the rendering. 7,600 seats is not large, right? It's not going to meet PSL for first division status. We know that. But in terms of getting something off the ground, and there's the story over at USLsoccer.com on this says it will be privately funded. I always take a little bit of a skeptical look at those things. For example, if you want a story about how privately funded can sometimes mean money still comes from public sources, go check out what's happening with the NWSL Stadium in Denver that is currently being planned.
And then sometimes promises for revitalizing areas don't always come to fruition down the line.
Yeah, that's true. That is the case. We reported that Buffalo was looking at a couple of different sites. I believe this is obviously one of the candidates, so this has apparently won out. Set to be located at Elk and Lee Street, the stadium will serve as a driving force in the development of a new entertainment district. Oh, what were you just saying, Rob? You were saying about something about
Revitalizing, yeah.
Revitalizing. So they have renderings here. Look, I don't like getting too precious about this stuff. Now, I don't want anybody to be taken advantage of, meaning the city of Buffalo, the people of Buffalo. I don't like big promises if there's not really a sense they're going to be fulfilled, or if there's promises just to get something done before you ultimately pull the plug. But I will say I'm excited about this. Buffalo definitely feels like a place that should have a successful professional soccer team in America. Now, they will have to play in the summer because I don't think they can play in the winter in Buffalo ever. But this is good news. I'm excited.
Yeah, Buffalo definitely in the top three snowiest places I think you can really name on the map. But I think an interesting note to this is you mentioned it, the expected attendance capacity of 7,600 under the PLS for at least the first division standards. Do you think that if they're investing this level of money, they think that there's an opportunity for some change in PLS? I feel like you're not going to invest this amount of money and self-limit yourself right out the gate, right?
Well, I mean, I think this is about so what I will say about this, right? Even as we are skeptical and cynical about these promises that come about entertainment districts and all those things, I will say that this sounds like an organization or a new concern in Buffalo Pro Soccer who's being somewhat reasonable with their expectations. Rob, they're not shooting for the moon, right? They're not like, we're going to build a 20,000 seat stadium for a team that's never played a game, potentially to be in a league that doesn't exist yet. Like, go 7,600, and then clearly there's an opportunity to add seats here, right? Again, this is sort of like this is a Rector set basic level, right? This is sort of like you get the stadium in a box, you pop it up, you play games, hopefully you get excitement in Buffalo, and then they can always go back and say, well, we can raise more money. Some wealthy Buffalonians,
Buffalite,
Buffaloes,
Buffsanian.
those people might throw some money at the club, invest in the ownership group, and then you can build more.
Yeah, looking at that extra green space around the periphery of the stands they've drawn up there could definitely make way probably for bigger stands in the future. I do like that they have at least one covered side. I always appreciate covered stand.
Yeah, you got to have at least one covered stand. Imagine, obviously, press box will be there, something to that effect. I will say this too about this rendering. I'd love a good rendering. I'm sort of an aficionado about renderings. I love random. We don't have close-ups here of like the woman walking with her daughter or like the random guy on his cell phone, which is usually what happens.
Someone holding a balloon.
I can't imagine that there's going to be this much empty space sort of behind the stands. Like, they're going to fill that space with stuff, right? There's going to be like kiosks. There's going to be vendors of various types. Like that's where you would have
Jump bounce house.
garden, that kind of maybe I would argue against the bouncy house. I would argue against that. We've seen that in MLS. I would like us to get away from that as an American soccer community, but sure, you can put one there for the kids.
What's wrong with the bounce house? That's a lower league staple.
I know it is. I know it is. I don't know. There's nothing that says we're minor league more than having a bounce house in your stadium.
Wow. So if there was just like, so if an MLS team did like an extravagant one, what's an animal reference the MLS team? Is there an animal?
I don't know. Like a
MLS team?
lion, like RSL's got that lion, that sort of weird Rasta lion. Did you know that was their mascot? They have a weird Rasta lion.
It'd be pretty cool to jump in a giant inflatable lion or something.
My apologies. RSL has a normal lion. Orlando has a weird Rasta lion. That's my mistake. But yes, an inflatable lion. You want to jump inside of an inflatable lion?
Jump like crazy, man.
Don't do that again. Do not do that again.